Wow guys, I just noticed where I made impact. Hey everybody, this is my 1998 Toyota RAV4. The RAV4 has come around due for an oil change, but unfortunately, it's got an interesting sound it developed, but funny story. Well, recently I was out fishing and on my way back I hit a huge bump that felt like it bottomed out, and after that I've heard a rattling noise that sounds like what the transmission mount sounded like when I first got this car, which is loud and rattly under certain pedal pressure and turns. So along with changing the oil, we're definitely gonna be checking that out today, and hopefully there's something I can see that'll point to that issue, and maybe it'll be something like the transmission mount got busted, but hopefully something straightforward like that. I'm going with this Castrol Edge high mileage synthetic oil. It's 5W30. The RAV4 will typically call for 10W30 in temperatures warmer than -18 degrees Celsius, but in all temps 5W30 is still proper, and it's what they had, high mileage and full synthetic motor oil in. So I've also got this Fram Extra Guard oil filter. I've heard good things about them and some people say bad things about them. The main reason I like these is because they have this sure grip on the bottom, which helps me when I'm doing my own oil changes. Pop the hood right down here. I'd actually already popped the hood there. Oh yeah, my Toyota emblem also came off. You can see I had super glued it on previously because I had seen it kind of peeling off. Luckily I caught it before the decal fell off while I was driving down the road. Here we are once again back in the RAV4 engine bay. The engine in this 1998 Toyota RAV4 is a 2-cylinder, is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine called the 3SFE. And did you notice the strut to firewall factory strut braces here? First things first, before we get it up in the air, I'll take the engine oil cap off. Looking good. And coolant's looking good too. Let me know what type of oil and brand of oil filter you guys usually like to use. Well, now that we've got the RAV4 up in the air here, let's take a look underneath and see what damage we're dealing with. Off the bat, I'm noticing this leakage, but I'm pretty sure this is my power steering leak issue, hopefully. Yep, right up here, I have a pretty decent power steering leak, which causes everything to run down onto this cross member right here. Here's the transmission mount I was talking about that I believed I might have busted. From the sounds of what I was hearing, just from looking at it with the camera, it's hard to tell, so I'm gonna set you guys down and take a closer look. CV axles look fine. Like I said, I'll take a closer look without the camera in my hand and let you guys know if I see anything else. While we're down here now, we'll let that engine oil drain out. And while the oil is draining, I'm gonna take these covers off just to look around. Now, I usually have a hard time getting the oil drain plug out without getting it on my hands. Well, it's practically out there. It's pretty much falling out now. Judge me if you want on that removal, but there's the oil draining out. It's always super satisfying draining the old oil out and putting some fresh in. There you guys go. Here on the front, something tells me that might be part of my issue with what I'm hearing. Oil slowly dripping, we got this cover off. So what you can see here is we've got the mount transmission right back there, and then up front, right here, we've got this mount. But what I've noticed is we've got some damage right here, where these bolts can no longer secure in place on the lower part of, I suppose, the radiator support down here. Probably just like how this bolt just keeps spinning, because down here gets a little rusty. So I knew about this part before I hit the big bump, because the shop that removed the bolt, the broken bolt for the alternator bracket, told me about this also, but it wasn't making any noise. But I believe what we're looking at is probably this. Got worse when I hit the bump, so not sure immediately what I'm gonna do about that. It's definitely not gonna be today or in this video. I'm gonna finish up with the oil change and get her back together, but this is definitely something that needs to be sorted out. I suppose the rad support will have to be repaired. Hopefully that won't be too impossible. Surprisingly, over here the oil is still slowly draining. Now everybody, it's time to remove the oil filter. Right in there you can see is the oil filter, and this is a filter that's kind of hard to reach when the engine's hot because you got the exhaust right here. But thankfully I did the last oil change and the filter isn't on too tight, and we're able to unscrew that just fine. I want to make sure first that the oil catch is positioned properly underneath. And there we are. Old fram out, new one in. Alright guys, I just noticed where I made impact, which totally makes sense what caused this to get busted worse. Right here. This was just a sudden dip in the dirt trail I was riding on out of my fishing spot. And I bottomed out and smacked right there. A little bit on the exhaust, no dent or anything, but anyhow, we've got the drain plug back on. Time to lower her down. Get the filter in with some fresh oil, my favorite part. All right, everybody, beautiful RAV4 back on the floor. Get your finger in there, preferably with some gloves on. Definitely with some gloves on. Get the threads. Get a little bit of oil on the threads and on the rubber here. And then just hand snug, not too tight. There's a new filter. She's ready for some fresh oil. Well everybody, oil levels are looking good and I'd say she's ready to roll. It's really just the hood on this that has bad clear coat. So if the hood's redone, it will actually be a pretty sharp looking RAV4. Now for one of my favorite parts of the RAV4, the interior. Even got fishing rod holder right there. Let's start her up. Now I'll make record of that oil change that was just completed. Unfortunately, we weren't able to solve our issue of the knock, but at least we found out what was causing it, and we'll get that sorted out right away. If you saw my video where I picked up a 1988 Nissan D21 out on a farm in the middle of nowhere, then that's awesome. There's been a lot going on in the background with that truck that will be coming soon in an upcoming video, but hopefully it'll get wrapped up and there'll be some cool things coming forward with that. I'd like to take it out on more adventures, take it camping and all the works. I was able to fix some little things like thermostat and got the gauge cluster all working, got issues with the brake lights working. Lots of little satisfying fixes on that truck, but unfortunately the misfire persisted, a constant steady misfire that I thought might just be from the sound of the loud exhaust, but it turned out to definitely be a misfire and zero compression on cylinder 3. But that's in some shops right now. Hopefully we'll be able to get it wrapped up so we can get, you know, a camper canopy, some new tires, maybe a lift. We'll see what's in the future for that truck, so stay tuned. Now before I roll out of here, I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for some awesome adventures, you guys, and subscribe to stick around for more. Thanks for watching and safe driving, everybody.